What's up, everybody? We are Deanna and Phil. Deanna's from the United States and I'm from Germany, and we are currently living in Germany, as you might know. And we tend to show the positive things about Germany, mainly the food, but also a little bit of the scenery and the culture. So there's many good things to talk about and to say about Germany. However, not everything is great in Germany, and a lot of people romanticize the idea of a foreign country. So in this video, we're gonna talk about 6 things that we do not like about Germany. The German system versus everything fun. So Germany has a lot of rules that makes things that are fun to do extremely hard to do. And this is reflected in the political system, its rules, as well as the German civilian mentality. Let me give you some examples. I grew up riding dirt bikes, like motocross. And it is illegal to ride in the woods or dunes with any off-road vehicle in Germany. And even if you have private land, it is very hard to get any tracks approved. There is even a rule that you cannot move dirt, actual soil, more than 3 feet in height to build a jump or anything on your own land. And if you like jet skiing or motorboating on lakes, well, not in Germany. Most lakes prohibit motorized vehicles of any kind, and to ride a jet ski, you even need a motorboat license in some areas. And then next, every time a club or an organization tries to build a skate park or even just a half pipe or little ramp in a city, it is confronted with huge obstacles of politics, funding, bureaucracy, etc. It's just a huge hassle every time and a huge battle against local politicians who do just not see any benefit of these fun sports, but they only see liability risks. And then one of the best examples how Germany is limiting the fun is the 20 kilometers per hour e-scooter rule. Scooter rentals and owning scooters are some of the best modern ways to get through any city, in my opinion. And they are legally allowed to go up to 25 kilometers per hour in all of the EU, except Germany. Here, they're only allowed to go 20 kilometers per hour, which came with major problems and efforts for manufacturers and people who already own scooters beforehand. You can also not really flow with the bikes that go 25 kilometers per hour, but hey, it's for safety, right? So yeah, I would say that Germany makes it pretty hard to have fun legally.
Smoking. I am from the USA, where a majority of cities have banned smoking in bars and restaurants. And the outdoor seating area of restaurants usually prohibits smoking as well. Meanwhile, in Germany, smoking at these outdoor seating sections is very normal. I absolutely love the outdoor seating culture in Germany and enjoying a nice meal in a quaint pedestrian-only zone of a city. But there's nothing worse than enjoying a schnitzel and someone right next to you lights up a cigarette, spewing secondhand smoke all over your way. For me, it just ruins the entire restaurant experience. And I have no problem if you're a smoker, you do you, but when it comes over into other people's spaces, it's very frustrating. Most people I hang out with step aside if they need a cig immediately before or after eating, but it doesn't seem to be the norm here in Germany.
Unfortunately not. Yeah, I totally agree with Deanna. It took me to go to the US and travel around, then come back to realize how many people still smoke at this day and age in Germany. Weather. This is the worst thing about Germany. The weather is really bad, period. From late September to May, the weather is just horrible. It's gray, cold, windy, rainy, short days of daylight. Ugh. And so many Germans will deny that by saying what do you mean? We have great weather in November, for example. The point is, the weather is so random and it fluctuates so much that yes, you can have a couple of sunny days in November, but the majority, it's just bad. That also means that in August, you can get 2 weeks of gray and rainy weather when it's supposed to be summer. The denial is just so strong in people here. Man, I can't believe it. Either they have never seen the blue sky before, or let's be real, you kind of have to tell yourself it's not that bad to keep your sanity. Otherwise, it's just miserable all the time, right?
I think that's probably it.
I think winter depression is a real thing and it's strong in Germany. where people on average are already not quite on the sunny side of mentalities. Then there's even silly sayings in Germany. We have like, es gibt kein schlechtes Wetter, es gibt nur schlechte Kleidung. Meaning, there's no such thing as bad weather, just the wrong clothing. Really? Really? So next muddy rainstorm, maybe you should go to the Canary Islands and then tell me that again, you know? And then if we're lucky, we get some summer from like June to August at some point. But yeah, the unpredictability could make it everything else but a consistent 3 months of good weather, and that just sucks. Oh, and also, that winter wonderland with the Christmas markets, etc. Everybody pictures for winter. It's not a thing. It's not a thing. The winters here are just gray, wet, cold, windy, and dark. I think the severity and impact that weather has on our mental well-being is just like highly underrated and not spoken enough about. So yeah, I hate the weather.
I agree, 100%. I struggle with seasonal depression, seasonal affective disorder, and when it's gray for 8 months of the year, it's very difficult. Even when we were flying back from the US to Germany this year, we see blue skies, we fly through a blanket of gray clouds, then into the gray, rainy Germany that we know.
Half around the world, sun is shining, last 2 minutes, boom, you're back in there.
Germany cannot think outside of the box. I say this coming from 2 engineering parents. There was a lot of structure and analytical thinking with my upbringing. However, creativity was always encouraged as well. And I feel like that's just not the case here in Germany. I'll just say if someone does not fit the standard mold, they are going to have a much harder time in Germany. It can be for bureaucracy if you have a special case, good freaking luck, filing taxes. A large majority are employed workers and not self-employed. Even if you're just signing up for a school, from a language school to a university, it's just difficult. Zum Beispiel. I'll give an example. When I got my German driver's license, I had to hand over to the German office my American driver's license. But in the US, many states combine the driver's license with the identification card. My ID for everything, bank verification, voting, etc., and not just a driver's license. Phil tried to explain this to the German official, but they just pointed to a giant law book and pointed to section X of subsection Y, and there was just no outside of the box thinking that another country might be different than Germany.
Yep.
It's not like I was applying for a residency card or a citizenship for Germany, so I don't know why I would give up my identification card from my home country.
Literally her Ausweis, her ID.
Yeah, but honestly, we've been more fortunate than most when it comes to a lot of these bureaucratic issues. I've just noticed so many systems have been put in place and cannot function if something isn't within the standard rules or process.
Yeah, that sums it up nicely. All these bureaucratic institutions in Germany, they can't function out of their rut they're in. It's horrible. Customer service. I came to learn that customer service in Germany is really bad. This becomes pretty apparent to every American who goes to a German restaurant for the first time, and the general service is just a little less friendly and attentive than it is in like the US. But it gets way worse when you as a customer have to start dealing with internet companies like Telekom or Vodafone, or like DHL or any other postal service, or basically any kind of hotline. Most customer services seem to be there to repel you and make it as intransparent and as hard as possible for you to solve any issue that could cost them some money or effort. It really feels like nobody is trying to help you or satisfy you as a customer. Have you ever had like issues with the Deutsche Bahn, like Germany's biggest train operator? Have fun getting any kind of help or refund. It's so blatantly obvious how little they care about their customers, and they always point the finger at somebody else or something else. And in the end, it is often better to just give up instead of stressing about it for like months or years to come. Like I'm still like, oh my God. But then there's also smaller things that are set up for a pretty bad customer experience. For example, the checkout situation at every German grocery store.
It's so stressful.
It's basically like a race against the cashier to pack your items into your bag and then make you payment immediately, and if you're not quick enough or you're still looking for money, they might start scanning the next person's items and potentially piling them onto yours, which then forces the next person to stress, and it just creates a ripple effect of a stupid customer experience, right?
Feels like a two-person job bagging your groceries in a German supermarket. Like one person hustles and the other person pays.
Or back in the day, they had more space around it and a divider, so you could pay and then pack your stuff while they do the next person. They don't do that anymore.
No. Reserved social culture. That might be a nice way of putting it. Another way could be a cold social culture. I know it's hard to meet people and make new friends anywhere in the world, especially after high school and college, since those are times when you're forced into social groups and communities, and it's just easier to interact with people on a daily basis and make friends. Even in the US after university, I moved to a new city and it took some time to make real friends, not just like surface level friendships. So I get that it can be difficult in many countries. However, I feel like it is especially difficult to meet new people in Germany, specifically Germans.
Yeah, I am.
Aside from Phil and his family and his social circle, many of my friends are international from other countries around the world. I would say about 80% of my friends here are non-German, and they might be dating or married to someone who is from Germany, but I have not made a single individual separate German friend.
Me neither.
Honestly, maybe it's me.
No, it's
Maybe it's me.
No.
My German level is at like a small talk level, so having deeper conversations are a bit difficult. And at my age, there's a lot of people at different points in their lives. Some are married, some are single, some have kids, some don't. Some are in uni, some are still like partying every day or not. So yeah, it's just a challenge. With that being said, I've met a lot of international people here that feel the same way despite their language level. It's just more of a challenge to meet new people here in Germany than I would say in the USA.
Yeah, maybe. I think USA is pretty hard too. Also adding a bit to that, this might be a little controversial statement as well, but maybe it's just my perception as Germany. But yeah, Germany feels kind of like a country of like a little bit robotic people that are molded by its system, where like work almost equals life, especially if you compare that to like South European countries where the focus seems a little bit more on the living aspect of life. Honorable mentions. Just some minor things that we wanted to add quickly. For example, nothing is open on Sundays for some religious reasons that are dating back to like the Ice Age, probably. Churches are also officially allowed to noise pollute entire cities by ringing their bells at mind-boggling noise levels for like 15 minutes before services happen. Rundfunkgebühren. The state charges every household about 18 euros per month for radio. And like 2 or 3 official state TV channels that nobody watches anymore. And there is absolutely nothing that you can do about that fine. Another thing that we don't really like about Germany is Besserwisserei. It's a German word. It's like the know-it-all culture, and it's very common and widespread here in Germany.
That's a little hypocritical of the videos we make.
Hey, I'm not saying I'm not part of any of this. Yeah, I'm just pointing out the obvious. But last point, yeah, I think there's too many cars in the cities. Cities get fuller and fuller. They're loud, busy, it's dangerous, and parking in cities is horrible.
So those are the things we dislike or hate about Germany. There are a lot of more things that we do love about Germany. We do that in another video.
Yeah.
So stick around for that. As always, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.